Hey there, I'm John Cannon. I'm the owner of NB Property Solutions LLC, and in this video, we're going to be talking about 5 costs you may not be aware of when you're selling your house right here in the Reno area. So, if you have ever thought about selling your house, or maybe you want to sell your house but you're just not sure because whatever the reason, um, this video might be right for you, especially if you're wondering what these 5 things that I'm even talking about. But before we get started, please subscribe to the channel and so that way you can see more videos just like this one. And of course, if you can, like the video and share it with all your friends so that way they can see all the content as well, especially if they're thinking about selling their house and they don't know what these 5 costs might be that I'm going to be talking about here in a second. Anyway, enough jibber jabber. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it and figure out the 5 costs you may not know about when you're selling your house. So obviously the first one is, hopefully you know about this one, and if you have never sold a house, you might not even know this, but really you have to worry about fees and commissions. And what I'm talking about that is when you list your house with a real estate agent, is you're going to have to pay your side of the closing costs, and then also on top of that you're going to have to pay the buyer's side of the closing cost, or not the closing costs but their agent. And your agent might only be charging you 2.5%, but the other agent might be charging 4.5%. So on average, real estate commissions are about anywhere between 5 and 6%. But with all the closing costs and everything at the end of the sale, you're looking more about 8 to 10% of the sale after you sell the house. That might not be good, but it might not be bad either. Like I said, it kind of depends on your situation. And if you're looking to sell your house quickly, maybe a real estate agent might not be the way to do it, but maybe it is. So really, it depends on what your situation is and all that. The next thing is the marketing, and a lot of people don't really think about having to market that well, or not marketing that well, but actually doing any of the marketing themselves. Most people just think, oh, I can just stick a for sale sign, or one of those little for sale by owner signs right in their front yard or something like that, and people are going to drive by and call them up. Most of the time that doesn't ever work because no one ever knows your house is ever for sale. So you actually have to spend a little bit more money on marketing. So then what you can do is you put on Zillow, maybe even do newspaper ads, maybe even radio ads, something of that nature. But if you take your pictures with just your cell phone or something like that, it might not be as good. I mean, if you have a professional camera or something like that, then I would definitely use that. Or if you don't have a professional camera and you don't want to use your cell phone, you might want to reach out to a professional photographer or something like that. So that way they can take really good pictures of your house and then post them on the internet, whether you're going to post it on Zillow or Trulia, or wherever you're going to post it on. So that way get more people looking at it and stuff like that. The next thing is repair costs. And if you list your house with a real estate agent, chances are they're not going to list the house as is. But what they want you to do is they want you to actually fix up some of the things that need repair. They might ask you if you can repair the roof, or update the kitchen, or whatever they're asking you to do, just do if you can. But if you can't, then maybe using a real estate agent isn't the best option for you. But in any case, if you have to repair the house, it might cost you a little bit more than you actually planned on. Sorry, I got the hiccups a little bit. All right, the next thing is that people don't really understand, or really know about, is the holding costs. And what are holding costs? Holding costs are things like your mortgage, your tax payments, or your property taxes, your utilities such as power, water, gas, sewer, all of that. And then say if the house is rented out, you might have to worry about holding you're going to have to worry about insurance anyway. Doesn't matter if it's if you're living in the house or if there's a tenant in there. But you might also be worrying, if you do have a tenant in there, you might have to worry about property management fees and stuff like that. So those are your holding costs. Granted, there's quite a lot of them, especially if if it's a income property like a rental or something of that nature, then it's going to be your holding costs are going to be a little bit more or whatever. But a lot of people, that when they actually sell their house, they don't think about the holding costs. They think that, oh well, I'm just going to list it on the market and it should be sold within the next 2 to 3 days or whatever. And people don't really realize that your house might sit on the market for 2, 3, 5, 6 months or whatever, and that whole time you're still paying the holding cost. Now it's better if you're a landlord and the tenants are paying all that stuff for you, then you don't have to worry about it. But say on the other hand, if your house is vacant and say it was your primary residence, then it might be a little bit more difficult to hold on to the property, especially with all the holding costs, and especially if it's sitting vacant, because now for example, you have gotten yourself you're trying to sell your current house, but you had moved into another house in, say, another town, and now you're having to pay two mortgages, two sets of not closing costs, but two sets of holding costs and all that. So it really depends on what your situation is and what you want to do with it. The next thing is closing costs, and I kind of touched on a little bit before, but not too much. But what closing costs are is what you deal with at the title company. So you have title insurance, which you have to pay. Sometimes you have to pay your mortgage, like mortgage document fees and stuff like that, and all the little small things that you have to pay to get the house closed and stuff like that. The escrow. Let me read this off. What you'll be responsible for as items such as transfer tax, title insurance, and there are also escrow and closing fees, along with HOA fees, attorney's fees, prorated property taxes. And then the way that you can get around this is if you have decided you want to sell your house and you want to help the buyer out as much as possible. What you can do is you can actually offer to pay some of the closing costs, or you can pay half of them, or you can pay all of them, or you can have them pay all of it. It's totally up to you. However, if you have your buyer pay all of them, and it's not a real estate investing company, chances are they're gonna tell you to go kick rocks, and then they're gonna go away. But really, it all depends on your situation again. Anyway, so those are the 5 things that you may not have known, especially if you're thinking about selling your house. Number 1 is commissions and fees. 2 is the marketing fees and stuff like that. 3 is the repairs. 4, holding costs, and then 5 is obviously the closing costs. If any of those sound like maybe it's not a good idea for you to sell your house, then maybe it might not be the best for you to sell your house at the current moment. But in any case, if you are looking to sell your house, or you're just thinking about it, whatever, feel free to reach out to me anytime. My phone number is 775-391-5236, or you can head over to my website, nvpropertysolutions.com, and there you can get started on a no obligation cash offer, or we can just talk about your property and maybe give you the best option for it, whether it's going with us or talking with a real estate agent, or I mean, we have a ton of real estate agents that we work with and stuff like that, so we can always give you one of ours that we use, or like I said, we can figure out the best option for you. In any case, that's it for this video. I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, you guys take care.